Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn. I am Gregory, stepping in right now for Jared, trying to get a project running. But y'all can start putting questions in, submitting that stuff. Today we are going to be going over whatever you guys have to ask. Marvin, I did get your pre-submitted questions, and I will be going over those. So Jared or someone will be going over those in just a moment. And while I am pulling those up once again, just a quick reminder of our DocBot right here. Highly recommend taking a look at it. It's got a lot of good stuff to it. It's just a simple, kind of like Chat GPT for decisions documentation. That's where it's sourced from. And we've got the solutions marketplace right here. Highly recommend taking a look at some of that stuff. Some of it's actually really cool, like the ticketing system that they got working for there. So, yeah. Marvin, I'm gonna unmute you because I know some of your questions right off the bat here, and I can answer those. So let me put these into the chat because it doesn't let me put them into the Q&A if that's cool with you. And hold on, I'm trying to let you speak. You'd think that'd be easier. There you go. You should be able to talk now.
Yep.
Long time no see, Marvin.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Whoops.
All right. Well, I think questions in the chat, right? Let me see. Let me get the Q&A open.
Yep, I'm gonna drop it into the chat real quick. And Jared, do you want to share your environment while I'm doing that?
Of course. Let me get the intro thing on.
Cool, cool.
And then we'll go ahead. It's still loading. I know.
Oh, I already got the intro put up. You're good there.
I'm just gonna put it on my screen though.
Okay.
I'm gonna drive. All right, I'm gonna minimize all this stuff. I have too much. That's the only problem with all these browsers is just you have so much stuff on it.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Let's see. All right, can everybody see my screen? It should just say Daily Lunch and Learn.
Yeah, all good.
Perfect. All right, and you got Marvin's question? I didn't see it.
There are like 5 of them. I'm trying to paste them into the chat and it's not letting me for some reason. So
Oh, could you?
I
No
know,
worries.
right? I can read them aloud.
That's fine. Yeah, read it aloud.
All right. The first one is there a property or field that contains the project name, like flow name or flow data? He wants to create a project constant variable to house the project name creating a project constant variable to house the project name seems a bit redundant if the project name is a part of the path that's being referenced to the object. So we want to just be able to call the project name from data that's within the flow somewhere. Is that correct, Marvin?
Correct.
Okay.
So, I think you're version 9 or 8? You're version 9, I think, right?
9.5.
Okay, cool. 9.5. Awesome. So once my thing loads. So there is a couple of, so if you want to get the project information, man, my thing's taking forever. I'm going to delete some browsers. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I have too many things running in the background. Get rid of that. Hey, look at that, it ran. Okay, cool. So there's a couple of things that you can do. Let's go into here. The thing you have to understand, man, okay, fine. You win. I will remove this and remove this. Yeah, it's my browser. Once I deleted all the ones, now this thing works fast. Anyway, so there's a couple of things you could do, but you have to understand that the project association, I think still even in version 9, it's in a separate database table. So
Well, I know that's available, but I'm trying to keep from hitting a database because where I'm using this was within exception handling. So I didn't want to introduce any more potential problems, which was why I was trying to use a constant variable or something.
so then Are you trying to determine if a given flow, small flow here, is in a certain project? Is that the question? Or no? I'm
No,
misunderstanding something. Okay.
I'm trying to provide the project name to the exception handler. To
Oh, I see what you're saying.
the project exception handler.
Yeah, no, I got you now. Okay, so yeah, I don't think there is any default. I mean, we can look at the flow data right here. I don't think there's flow data by default that gives you
Right. I
this.
didn't see one. So I opted to create a project constant variable
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
to accomplish that, but at the same time, when I'm doing that, it already has the project name in it. Go to the configuration of
Yeah, you want manage configurations, variables, constants.
right. When you go to create one of those fields is that it pre-populates that list name of the project variable. Or I'm sorry, the next one, list category name. That's the
Yeah.
project name. So it's almost like a duplication. If I go to create a project name constant, I'm duplicating and reference that, and you'll see what I'm referring.
Yep. Yeah, so this is the thing you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, if it's there, why go hit a database?
I think that's what it's doing. I want to see. Maybe there's a.
I mean, I have a solution, but I was hoping for something a little cleaner.
Sure. Trying to
Question
see.
mark?
Let me do the call. Isn't there like something here for call internal decision service? We got project to do, project view service. What's this do? Get element read, get dependent projects, get database, get by, create project, fetch project, get project dependency data, update project dependencies, get projects, get by project ID, create. Let's see, what's get by ID do? I'm curious. Let's see. Get you the full flow data. I'm just gonna grab the current flow ID. I'm just curious what this does. That's the user ID. I don't want that. Flow. I know it's this. It's here. Where's the flow? Did I miss it?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Flow folder ID. There's the flow tracking ID. I don't think it's a tracking ID. Current flow ID. I knew it was there somewhere. Somewhere. And we're just debugging this. I'm just curious what data outputs. Okay, so that won't give you that because that's not the ID of the project. The folder was not found. So is it the folder? Okay, so that's some interesting stuff. Let's try that. So instead of this, we're gonna go current folder, and I think we have. I know I saw the folder thing. Folder, not folder flow folder ID. I'm wondering if that's what it is. Still didn't like it. Is not a project. Okay, so it's kind of looking for a folder. Could you?
it's up. Ultimately, I'm trying to use a generic process to handle exceptions, and I
Mm-hmm.
need to pass in the project name.
Yep.
So
Yep. I think I get this. I understand the circumstance. My thing is I'm wondering if we can use this. This take forever. Is I think there's a way we can get that based on the flow that errored out. We may have to add some logic here. And I'm not sure why this is super slow. I just need to like get a new environment. Maybe it's because I have too many of these things. Don't want to save, don't save. Wow, that's crazy. All right, we're just gonna open up another thing. I'm gonna close window, close all windows. There we go. Wow. And then small flow. Yes, I'm gonna break the lock. I'd get by ID. What I wanted to do is split string, and then I can grab split string. The source was going to be the project constant, not project constant. It was gonna be the flow data. We have the flow or the folder ID. Hold on. Let me not make this too complicated. Because I think if you can get by ID, this might get you the folder that you're looking for, and then I think that would be it. So flow folder ID, and then we have just folder ID. And then I'm curious. Hey, darn it. So it's nothing. I'm curious. So here's what I think we could do is we can say that the separator is a dot. My goodness, this confuses me. Constant dot. And then I can do the source, which I'm going to say is flow data. I'm going to say current flow folder ID. And then what we'll do is we're going to grab the first and see if that gives us anything from that. And I'm wondering if that will give us that project because that is, haha, that's what it is. So what was your workaround? My workaround is if you, the reason how I got this is I know that in version 9, all the default folders here that we use, all of this just is appending, what is it? Is just the project ID. So if I get this designer folder ID, it's literally just the project ID dot default flows dot default rules. So you can split that to get the project ID, and then you can use that get by ID to get that project name, and then you can put it in there.
Okay, can you show me that again? A little
Yeah,
smaller
yeah.
now that we got the answer.
Yep. And here's the other thing. Let me show you that. Here's one more. Let me check one more thing. I want to make sure that this is current flow ID, folder ID. I guess you could get by folder and get the parent folder entity underscore folder ID. Okay, cool. So what I did here is I said, hey, let's take the split string, and there's this default source called flow data flow folder ID. So that's the folder, that's the folder that the flow resides in. And since if you utilize that project scaffolding structure that we give you, it's just
Right.
the project ID dot default flows. So all I did is I wanted to split by the dot, and then I passed in the first property inside of it, and I used the step called project view service and get by ID. And then I passed in that ID, and then what outputted is that, which is nice. So outputs the folder. If I can debug it, it outputs that entire folder object. And so now you can see that this is a special type called any folder projects, and any name is more demo.
And the project name is more demo.
Yep, the project name is more demo.
Okay.
Basically, what a project is in Decisions is just a folder data type, and we just added a new
Right.
folder data type.
Okay, I think I've got enough screenshots, but okay.
Sweet.
At least that way I don't have to hard code it somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Which
you
is-
can just dynamically get it.
Right. But I don't have to hit a database either, so to speak. Don't have to run
You
a
don't have to
query.
write a query. Exactly. You don't have to write a query. It's still doing that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
If that fails, we got bigger issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And what was your next question? Like it wasn't
I've
there.
got it.
Okay.
So
Actually, let's do this. I'm gonna go. Let me answer Grant's question. I'll go back to Marvin's question.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see. Grant asked, could you show off an example of how to use a chart on a page? Any chart such as pie, line. I would like to see how you map the data to configure the settings. I've looked into them before, but was always overwhelmed. Yeah, absolutely. We can totally have some fun with some charts. I'm by no means the chart expert. I think it was Jeremy, he knows how to set up a lot of the different line charts. I don't think he's on the call. Are you on the call, Jeremy? No, he's probably on lunch. There is, before I begin, there is a great video on this. I'll share with you, and then I'll also do the demonstration in decisions training. There is right here a video. I think it's like on like report charts, report something. I know, I think I did a video a while back on this. That's oh yeah, decisions report views. So this is not to be confused with database views. I just, build a ton of different charts. So I'm going to put that in here, and then I'll also do a demonstration of all of the different charts and views that we have. All right, so let's go back and let's talk about them. So I'm going to create a test report. The basic thing that you want to know is that in order to have a chart, you have to group your data by something. So a very simple one that you'll see is, and let me make sure I have the, what do you call it? The test page. Do I have the test page? I have the test page. All right, I'm gonna actually remove that test report. Delete this. We'll talk about this. Do I have this attached to something? I think I do. I don't. All right, let me attach to something. I just have to have this as my default dashboard. Dashboard example, and then we're going to attach that page that will have nothing on it, so it won't be very helpful test page. So it's just going to be blank. You won't see anything. Nothing. All right, perfect. So now we can talk about this. So in a report, you have to group it by something. Yeah, there's a decision trainer. You should like, comment, subscribe, Marvin. Helps with that pesky YouTube algorithm. Anyway, so what you have to do for charts is you always have to make sure that it is grouped by something. So I have the is active. And what I can do is, let's say I want to group and see all of the accounts that are active on my system. If I hover my mouse over the headers of the report, you'll see I have these three little kind of squares right here. That allows me to group data, right? And so I can have a lot of this stuff grouped here and grouped there, right? So that's how I can group the data. Now, what this allows me to do is I can do it one of two ways. You can create charts and reports, which I'll do in a second, but I also want to show that if you go into the page designer, where I have the test page, and what I can do is I can drag over a pie chart, and then I can pick that specific report that I tested, and then what you'll see here, and I'll give this a title called example report, boom, and then we shall save this. And then now if I go back to my dashboard example, you'll see I have my pie chart, right? It says there's 6, it's kind of not helpful, it just says true and false, right? But I would have like pie chart of showing active accounts and probably maybe a report of those accounts to the left so you can see all of it. But in a nutshell, I just grouped it by a property, and that gives you the report. And there's several different types of charts that you can have in the page designer. You can drag over, I think it's there's a bar chart you can drag over, and I could do the same thing with that, with a bar, active accounts bar. And if I go here, boom, now I can see that in a bar format. So basically, whatever you group it by, that gives it the sections, and then it groups based on those sections, and then you can see what that data is in there. So that's the charts from that perspective. Now, there's a lot of other cool things that you can do in the report side. If we do some, you can do the charting there as well. So I can say, hey, I want to have a ring chart, which is the exact same thing as the pie chart, just it's a donut. And I could say this is donut. And then boom, and then I have a donut, and then I could display this on my report as well, and I just have to show the this report view. Now let's do another one. I think there's what is it? Create. I'm gonna try to do a line graph. I always mess this one up, but we'll have fun together. So let's do the created on date. Created on date as a date time, because I think we need like a date time, and I'm gonna set this to. Let me go back to the data view, and I'm actually gonna remove the donut. And let me set this to just the short date. right? And so I should, okay, cool. So I have a couple of system accounts that have been created in different days. And I think I can create I think is what you group it on. Okay, let me ungroup the is active. I want to group it on this so I can see the different things. And don't have to have a count, right, Gregory?
You do, but I'm not sure if it's specified on the field itself.
We'll find out. Then I could do a subtotal, and I could say account display on the field, a created on date. And this is just an aggregation. This is a count. All right, so then I should have it as this. So I have a count on created on date. Is it doing it? Let me play this. There we go. 4, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so it is doing that. And then what I can do for the line chart, I'm going to do a line. Let's do the line. So I can add the line, and the series 1, okay, is going to be the count, and the title is going to be accounts created line graph. See, my head's usually buried in Excel a lot of the time, so like I can do this in Excel. Hey, okay, cool. So we can see this here. So 1, 1. Oh, okay. And this is okay. I did it. There's a line graph. So yeah, so you can do this here where it's like here's the line graph, and I can see there's a lot of accounts created that and today, and then only 1 on this date, 1 on this date, and let me create some more accounts so you can just see it kind of, go up. And let's see, go to user accounts, security. I'm going to go to accounts. I'm going to say create account, and this is going to be data@deck.com. And we'll say this is an account. Fat finger to password. And sure. And we're going to create another one so that we'll have some different data to@deck.com. And then we shall set this as SA. And it's kind of, I think I got it. Did I get it right? Nope, they don't match. All right, try this one more time. Okay, I just can't. Come on. Work with me. I miss the days in older versions you didn't have to have like a super long password. Oh my goodness, perfect. And so it made it a lot easier, but now we have to, more security concerns. Just average, like you have to have security and stuff and enforce password policies. All important stuff, but like it's difficult. All right, cool. And now you can see here's my line graph. It's like, hey, cool. So I have this, 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 and this. And so you can easily see kind of the trajectory of based on the number and the counts, and then also on the other grouping of it. So the main thing for the line graph, I believe this is true, is if you want to have a line graph, you have to make sure you use this results and then create a subgrouping based on the number, because that's going to be, I think, your x-axis, if I'm not mistaken. And then the things you group by will be, no, I've said that wrong. The results will be the y-axis, and the groups will be the x-axis, so vertical and horizontal. And so when you have the results, that's your vertical, and then if you have the grouping, then it's the horizontal. And then once you have that, add the line graph, and you just have to make sure that you pick the series that you've selected for it. And then when you do that, then you'll be able to have a line graph to see kind of like trends and trajectories and stuff like that. So. Yes, the diagram tile, you can use a diagram tile, but that one, it gives you more flexibility on like your design for that without CSS. But yeah, it's a lot easier just to utilize the report design here as well. The last thing before I'll move on to another question, Grant, is because this is going to be like how you connect it to the dashboard. Let's say you want it on a dashboard. How do I display that on a dashboard? One of the ways which we showed is you can easily just say, hey, I'm going to drag over the the line graph, and then I'm just going to pick that report that has it, and then you can do it that way. The other way you could do it, and this is very important, is because there are certain not structures but design patterns. Like if you do like a report over all the stuff that's inside a report, and then you have a report that's a parent report above that, what you can do is you can also specify utilizing the report viewer control here. Pick that report. So I think it was the accounts test report. And as I display this, you'll see that I have just the report data here once it loads. Boom, just the report data. But I want this to be a chart. So now what you can do is instead of having it display the report data view, I can actually go into the views over here, and then I could specify the default view. I think it's, if I can remove data matrix, I think it's, and I think it's just charts. And I can say, hey, I just want the chart view. So if I debug this now, boom, now it defaults to the chart view on mine. So you can do that. Exactly. Yeah. And that's how you switch it. And this is very helpful because there's many times where you want to just show the report viewer as a chart, and you can just do it that way. And this will incorporate any filtering or anything like that that you may want to have on the report that the pie chart, not the pie chart, but the page control won't have, because it just shows you like, hey, here's the graph. So that's kind of how you can do that. So basically, to add it onto it, you have to drag over your report viewer. After you drag over your report viewer, in the view category, just check all the ones you want to view. If you have a chart, check the chart, and then you'll be able to add that specific chart there for that. So that's the main view there. The data drill view, what that means is if I click on a specific area of it, so if I click on like 1125, the drill down, meaning what I left click on, is that's this view that pops up. And what you can do is we have a lot of customers that override that and say, hey, I want to do a different thing where I want people to see things in a rich text view. I don't think I created a rich text view, so we won't see anything, I think. Actually, no, you will. So you can see it in that view as well, which just shows you that the properties in that view if you want to see it that way. And I believe there might be other, let's go back to views. Rich text view or textless, view to print current view, override drill down. Let's see, overrun, oh, that's just the report title. So that just allows you to kind of drill down to, if you want to turn off the chart drill down, you can check that, and I believe that turns it off. Let's kind of test that. And then I don't think people, yep, there we go. And then now I can't click on it to drill down if I don't want that capability. So a lot of that's just in the view portions right there. All right, boom. Cool. Alrighty. All right, Gregory, I'm ready for the next question.
All right. Other than name, is there any functional difference between the throw exception and throw business rule exception flow steps?
Other than name? I think.
I looked at the documentation, but that's the only thing it mentioned was the name.
Oh, really? That's it?
There
Yeah.
is, I know this one because I just made a video on this. There is only one difference. And the difference is before you get the exception message for the throw business rule exception, in brackets, it puts business rule. That's it. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think that's the only difference. Just adds that business rule.
Right, that's what the documentation said.
Okay, yeah. Yep,
Okay.
that's the only difference. It's pretty much the same step, just has that tag. All right, what's the next question?
When logging an exception, there's a property called extra details. How could that be utilized when a throw exception step only allows for a message? Or is there a better step to use?
Say that one more time. Say the question one more time.
Sure thing. When logging an exception, there is a
Okay.
property called extra details. How could that extra details property be utilized with a throw exception step that only allows for a message? Or is there a better step to use for that?
Like the actual logging step, like log.
It wasn't on the log step. I can't remember what. I want to say it was one of the flow. It's the flow, and the input to the flow is extra detail, but I don't know how to provide it the data. And I believe that is a decisions flow. pre-created flow, and we just put a wrapper around it.
So catch exception.
Oh,
I'm trying to find where we get the extra details. Infiltrates. Are you talking about it within the like the air handling project?
I'm not sure where it was referenced. I don't know if James is on the call today or not. He could tell you where he got the source from. I thought it was a decisions defined flow,
Mm.
air handling flow that has all the logging, and it checks to see about us. Does it need to be assigned to anybody or all of that stuff? And I don't currently have it open, so I can't tell you exactly what to look for.
Gotcha. I'm just not. I don't know where exception details is. I know what you could do is, even though this is a single property, you can use the merge plain text or the merge HTML, and then you
And
can craft. Okay.
the field is just a single string. So I mean, yeah, you could merge some stuff and put it in, but how do I get it from, if I have an exception I need to throw, if you only have the message, there's no way to fill in extra details. There's no property for extra details.
So throw
I'm trying to get to
exception
it now to see if I can,
and then placeholder.
let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, yeah, maybe you can find it. Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that doc bot. Let's see. Where is the property exception details found?
It's called extra detail.
Oh, extra details?
Yes, extra details.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. And you're talking about the actual air handling project? That's what you're using?
Yeah, we have a, oh, just a second. We have a wrapper around it, but edit.
Welcome, Justin. I see your question. I'll get to it in just a moment.
I don't believe this was, well,
Hmm.
let's see if I can tell. Data Explorer.
Yeah. Go ahead and try to find it for me, because it could be something that maybe was made
Right.
by you guys, but and I can definitely
That's
show you how
what
to
I'm
map it.
trying, yeah, and maybe we just copied what you had and that was added. All right,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like. Hmm. All right, this may be in one of our flows, and it may have just copied something y'all had. So let's just table that question for now, and I'll do some more research.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Hey, we're still, we're just lunching and learning. All right, so I'm gonna go to the next question. Let's see, Justin. Oops, what'd I do? I'm still here. Okay, good. I thought I deleted something. Justin asked, in the fetch ID step, there are two options: fast fetch and read uncommitted data. What is the difference between the two? Are there similar options when creating data sources for reports? Let's see. So what you're talking about here is fetch entities And then let me output I'm gonna do this counts. And let's do, where is it? Fast fetch and read uncommitted data. So we have these two properties checked by default. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that one. You're on 8.2, okay, cool. I think the step will still, the UI will look different for you, but it will still have the same properties. Let me show query. I just want to see if the query is different if I just run this. So like main no lock.
Yeah, so I see it adds the no lock on the read uncommitted data,
Yeah.
which is what we want in the.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
So we want that with no lock query hint in the reporting. We're not blocking anything in prod.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. How do we do that? That's a really good question. So we know that that's what that does there. I believe I'm wondering if what you could do, I'm thinking. All right, let me grab that query. Here's an idea. Read uncommitted. Now let me grab this. And let's say, okay, select main, no lock. And we want this. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. All right, so I got the query. What we can do is, I'm gonna do this on my table, is we can create, and I'm not, this may not be efficient, so I shouldn't say that. I don't know if it is or isn't efficient. This is kind of just an idea I have. Is what you can do is decisions can integrate with a database integration. We can integrate with a database view. And can I create a view? I didn't create a view because I have to write that query. Is what you can do is you can create that view within your database. And then you can report over that has the no lock. And then you can have it. Or
Gotcha.
That's one way. Or I think here's a better way. Another thing you can do is we can integrate with a query. So fetch the data, database integration, way to add query, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then I can say this is my report over accounts no lock, right? Then I can paste my query in here. And then I run it. Let's make sure that it runs. Boom, it ran. Perfect. And then I'm going to hit save on this right here. And then I think this would be better than the view, because the view, you have to go into your SQL or Oracle or whatever your database is, create the view, and then integrate with the view. With this
that actually might be better for us to
really?
separate the responsibilities. Yeah,
Okay.
to have build that and then hand it over to the dev.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then you can totally do that. Then what I'm going to show you here, it's going to be the exact same process except with the view. So in the report designer, once you create the view or the report, we'll go to report stuff. Then you go to add data sources, and then you expand database. No, it's not database integration. I always forget which one it is. Database, advanced. That's not that one. Infrastructure. Maybe I should create a view. There is a common, there we go, local connection. There we go, local connection. And then you see I have this report over no lock, and I can select this, and then I get the data fields that I need from there.
Perfect.
And so it's just like doing that. That's the query side. It's the same thing if for the view. I think you just got to go to common, and there's a ton of views. Let me find it real quick. And I believe you can just integrate over that specific view. It might be in database integrations or database, one of the two. But then you could just integrate with that view, and then that's it. I think I have a video over it. Let me find that one so I can at least show you what I did there for that. And I'll also share it with the let's see, decisions training. And the videos, I think it's like report. Database views, I think I called it, database. There we go, decisions, database views. And I think I create one, add a view, and I think I report over it. Yeah, and you create this. It allows you to grab, oh, I'm gonna send this to you in the chat so you have it.
Perfect.
Type. Yeah, I would skip all the way to halfway through the video, or 7 minutes in. The first 7 minutes are just talking about, like, just in case someone doesn't know what a database view is, you know, I talk about it, but the 7 minute mark, that's where I actually say, here's how you do it in decisions. And let me go to the report side. Yep, and so where you find it is, okay, cool. So it is in local connection or whatever your connection is that you're talking to. If it's an external connection, then you'll see that connection option there and you expand that and then you just grab the view from there.
Perfect. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yep, my pleasure. Alrighty, any other questions?
I
Was
got
it all
more from.
Marvin? Let's do it.
All right. This one's a longer one, and it's based off of this material right here that I just posted to the chat for everyone. So there is a paragraph in here of the catch exception step that talks about that you can add more advanced error handling, like you can. Sorry, let me just read this verbatim. In the last paragraph of the catch exception step of the exception handling best practices, which I put the link there, there is mention that a more advanced use case, the exception handling process, can contain steps to log the error, alert, or send a task to a user. He would like some elaboration on how to alert the user. He has tried catching an exception in an active form flow to display it, but it is not displaying any sort of notification to the user from the active form flow.
If you scroll down just a little farther, I'll show you
Yep.
that spot right there, that
Mhm.
last paragraph right there. In a more advanced use case, that's the paragraph.
Mhm. So your question is, how do you, so if someone has a form error or something?
Right, or any error, regardless of where it is. In my project error handling, I wanted to gracefully crash and display some type of message or something
Yeah.
and say, okay, we're stopping. Sorry, you can't go any farther. We know of the issue, something nice. That's what I'm trying to do, but I'm not, don't know how to display that information.
I see. Don't want to display that information. And specifically on forms. So you're not in a flow, you're like want to display that
Well,
on a form.
the error exception could come from an active form flow. And I do know that your project error handling captures those. So I was trying to do the quote alert to a user, into that first sentence or that first line there, beginning of the second, tell the user, hey, it crashed. We're going to land gracefully or crash gracefully. And I tried to put a form inside the project error handling flow, but it did not display. Maybe I did something wrong, just.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Because if you say you add the catch exception, I guess let's build that. Let me
You could
close
have
this.
just a simple flow that says throw exception and then inside the project. Yeah.
And you're using the default one that's in the project level, right?
Yes, the error handling portion, yes.
I think, isn't there a bug on, um, like so you said, alright, sorry, let me clear my thoughts. Is your server on 9.5?
Yes,
Okay, it's on 9.5. I'm wondering, I know that there was issues where the main flow, let me go to the health and go to the error handling.
yes,
I'm just gonna create a new one, just say this is
sure.
error handling 1. Show pop up.
I haven't tried pop-up yet.
Well, I'm just trying to,
Yeah,
I'm wondering
sure.
if this even gets triggered. You can get it to do anything.
I
Load.
know the flow is triggered, but at least the show form did not activate. Now, pop-up may or may not be the same.
Wait, data here. Okay,
Yeah,
data.
sure.
All right, and so we're creating active form flow. So let's go back here. Demo form. I'm gonna get an event button. I can't spell. Button. And, oh yeah, so now I'm gonna create that active form flow that just has an error. We'll say this is an error will occur. And we're gonna do divide. By value is 0. And then that value constant 5. And then if I add this, oh wait, I need to make sure that I do this. Event button triggers it on click. Yep. So then if I do this on the demo form, if we add it, I can move all of this stuff out of the way. Show form here, pick create existing. And then I just debug this. And then I click this. Okay, so that error handling flow. Okay, so it does run. Okay. That makes sense. Now, I think here's the problem though. You have a form in that one, right?
Well, I was trying anything. I didn't try a pop-up. That might be just as if a pop-up works.
Well, I'm thinking, and here's what I think happens is anything here that you have, like if I had a form,
Mhm.
this is not being run. This flow is executed by the system user. So if I add a show form step or something, I don't think this will appear unless I create new. Or let me pick existing.
It did not for me.
It did not for you. Okay, so then I don't think it will. It will work for me. So let's just do form example. I don't know what this is. Add a button to it. Oh, okay, let's add a button. Perfect.
I'll be happy to try the pop-up.
Because I don't think it will, because that's going to be. Let's go ahead and run that flow again. Form, test forms out, run, raise event. Yeah, see, it's not gonna show the form because it's showing to the system user, because that runs on the system account. So what that means is if you do want to pop up, there's a couple things we could do to handle that.
Okay,
Is we could edit this. I'm gonna remove this. You could use a pop-up. There is a couple of ways you could do like center.
right.
And I believe the only difficult thing is we do have to specify the user, and I think there's like there used to be a send notification step. I think they removed it. Oh no, they didn't. And that one allows you to dynamically information error, folder ID, type name, subject. Let me figure out which one it was. Advanced. There's one that's dynamic. What's this? Constant. Oh, it's just a string. I thought it was gonna be. Oh, hey, there's constant. What's in here? Action entities folder path from side text. Because I don't think this won't. If I just have the show pop up, I don't think we'd see it unless we specify who it's to. Oh, there we go. Send notification to accounts and groups. Boom. That's what I wanted. This allows you to specify the user, and so you can set this, you know, to the specific user that you wanted to go to. And I think you can do it dynamic. Yep, accounts and groups. So you can do this dynamically and say, hey, get the current user account, and then send it to that person. And then you can specify the pop-up. Oh, really? That's not fun. Accounts and groups message. This is where like it's weird because you can have a pop-up. If I don't specify the user, I'll show you what's the problem, is I believe this will still send it to the system user. So only the system user will see it, but we won't see it. So if I can run the flow, raise the event. Oh no, it does still work. Okay, cool. So what you can do is you can raise the event and boom, hey, error happened, check this, right? And so you
Right.
can easily specify it there. So I thought for this one, it would not run the run it for the current user, but looks like it does. So you just say, use the show pop-up, have it
Okay.
centered so that it's more obvious, because I know
Right.
I'll miss the one all the
Yeah,
way to
the
the right.
exactly.
And it only lasts for 3 seconds, and you're like, oh, I gotta get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Okay. I'll give the pop-up a try.
okay, cool. All right, another question from Justin. On a regular basis, we're seeing significant wait times and blocking in the database coming from this trigger. Do you have any idea what this trigger, what might be triggering this behavior? So it says, create trigger, delete flow state storage data on, flow state storage data for, delete not for replication, delete flow data storage, where the primary flow tracking, flow data, primary flow tracking data, okay, is equal to the deleted tracking ID. I'm wondering, do you know, Justin, what your archive policy is, or let's see, where is this? Archive entity policy is?
I can check.
I'm wondering, I'm not sure. It's just based on what that's telling me, is it looks like it's saying like if there is some flow state storage data for certain processes that are belonging to a flow that is deleted, hence the primary flow tracking ID equal to deleted dot flow tracking ID. I'm wondering that if it's in a process of trying to clean up deleted stuff, and maybe there's a lot of that happening.
Yeah, edit archive settings is not enabled.
Not enabled. Okay, so then it couldn't possibly be that. What I would do is, if you can submit a support ticket, this would be something due to anytime these anytime we touch these database tables, we always just want to have a support technician just walk through and just to make sure like, hey, this is what we can remove or complete it, because it's just very sensitive stuff.
Sure.
I don't know what specific this is triggering, but I think they could be able to dive in and help you out.
Okay, thanks.
So all I can tell from that error is that it is something where there is deleted, the flow state storage is deleted for some reason, and it's trying to clean up deleted unused process for flows that were running or processed or something like that.
Yeah, and we're just trying to get that off peak times.
Yeah. I gotcha.
I have a quick question on that, Justin. Does this happen to occur every 2 days?
It could. It seems it's regular, but I haven't been able to track an exact pattern, but that sounds pretty close.
Okay, that sounds like it's the default flow data cleanup scheduled job that gets created with the decisions environment. I'm not sure that it's that, but if that time frame is correct, I would specify that in the support ticket. That might be it. I don't want to say for certain, but might be a place to start.
What's that called?
Um, I don't remember the name exactly. It's a flow
So it's a scheduled
data.
job, right?
Yeah, I would go to the system-wide ones. Yeah.
Is it this one, like one of these?
That's what I'm wondering. Remove flow step run data. That's the flow data storage. it runs every 2 days. That's what that job is designed to run unless there's a restart.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing.
Of course. All right, everybody. Man, appreciate you guys coming out. This was a great and fun lunch and learn. I think we had a lot of people attend and a lot of great questions. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. And I think, let's see, lunch and learn. This is the last lunch and learn of this week. So no lunch and learn tomorrow, but we'll restart next week and we'll have more people host. So stay tuned for that. And just come prepared with more questions. But thank you so much for attending, and we'll see you guys next time.